r/AskReddit. What's something embarrassing you're willing to admit? I audibly shitted myself in a boardroom meeting once. There were about 7 or 8 other people in the room, and it happened while my boss was speaking. He stopped talking, and there were some gasps. I didn't know what to do other than profusely apologize and go home. Next day I apologized to my boss and told him I'd been ill. I still work at the same company, and it hurts every day. This was 2 years ago. Lol. As someone who sits in meeting to schedule meetings, I would die if this happened. Probably made a few people stay though. I got my first iPhone about 7 or 8 years ago. It was the iPhone 4 I think, the first to have Siri. Anyhow, I was listening to a lot of hip hop at the time, and the phrase I chose to say to Siri was, "I love it when you call me Big Poppa." For those who don't know, Notorious B.I.G. Now you know. Siri asked me if I wanted her to call me Big Poppa. Why the duck not, I thought. So this event totally left my memory until about 2 years later, when I was looking for an email I had sent from my phone. I found it and was horrified to learn that it had been signed off from Big Poppa. Everything I had sent from my phone in those 2 years, including job related emails and even applications, had been signed off from Big Poppa. LMAO, this is the most hilarious one on this thread, 10 out of 10. I once sat on a red pastel crayon in middle school. I was wearing white pants. This was nice, thank you. My freshman year in college I lived in dorms that had community bathrooms, but each room had their own sink. Weird combo, I know. It was such a pain to have to get up in the middle of the night to walk to the bathroom. Anyway, one night I went out with members of my club sports team to the bars and got blindingly drunk. Somehow staggered back to my dorm room, somehow avoided the questions of our resident advisor, and got changed and into bed. Now I forgot to mention that my and my roommate's beds were both elevated off the ground, as if they were top bunks, despite being separate from one another. Right before I went to sleep I realized I had to pee. In my drunken stupor I decided it was a better idea to try and kneel on my bed and pee off the side into the sink, rather than try and walk to the bathroom. Started peeing into sink. Fell backwards drunkenly, still peeing into the air. Passed out while peeing straight up into the air like a whale shooting water out of a blowhole. Like a pee whale, yeah. Woke up the next morning. Realized what had happened. Shamefully ate some cornflakes. Then Lysol bombed the room and torched the sheets, mini rug, hamper and everything else that had been violated. When I was like 13 I grabbed lotion out of my mom's bathroom to jerk off with, and it was some weird fake tanch tea that turned my member into a weird tint of orange for like a whole month. That was really stupid. About a year or so ago I was standing in line at the grocery store, waiting to pay for my small grouping of items. The man in front of me is elderly, maybe late 80s or even early 90s. He has finished his transaction and is trying to get his wallet out of his pants to pay. Now, this guy's clothes are about 2 sizes too big for him, so everything is kind of hanging off of him. Because of his advanced age and loose clothing, reaching into his back pocket to retrieve said wallet is proving to be extremely difficult. He seems to lack the strength, dexterity and coordination to both maintain his reach and grab the wallet from the very deep and loose back pocket of his old man pants. This goes on for, without exaggeration, for like 5 solid minutes. Picture a grocery store with lots of people trying to get dinner and whatnot, and everyone is basically on hold while this guy tries to get his wallet out, to no avail. Now, here comes the horror. Old man big pants, without a word to me, points his rear end at me and just looks into my eyes. I realize that he wants me to get his wallet out for him. The realization hits me and I'm frozen. There are like 10 people in line behind me all watching this happen and who want to get home in time for Jeopardy. I start to do nothing, but then realize that this dude is genuinely looking for help. So, I reach into his back pocket to try and retrieve the wallet as quickly as possible. This is when I realize what the problem was. The dude has a Costanza wallet times 10. It's huge and heavy. I'm trying to get a grip on the thing and I cannot get it past the loose fabric of the deep pocket and more folds of what I realize are his old man floppy ass flesh. I swear I tried for like 30 seconds to get the thing and couldn't. At this point I turn around and see the horror on some people's faces, because to the untrained eye, I'm a dude sticking his hand down a poor old man's pants in a grocery store in broad daylight. It's at this point that I give up and tell the guy, sir, it's all good, your stuff is on me, and cram my card into the machine and pay for his stuff, like 12 bucks, no big deal. He thanks me and shuffles out of the store while I pay for my stuff and slide off to my new life as a molester of the elderly. I was watching a movie with my parents when I was 7 and heard the characters talk about porn. I asked my parents what it meant and they didn't tell me, so I looked it up on our family computer. This was around Christmas time and I got so scared I wouldn't get anything for Christmas because I looked it up, so I wrote a letter to Santa apologizing. He wrote me back and said it was okay. The next year I realized Santa was my parents. It still keeps me up at night. This is hilarious and adorable at the same time. Have your parents mentioned it since? They haven't. I'm sure they kept the letter though. I'm sure they're keeping it so they can pull it out on your wedding day. I accidentally emailed you up to my entire 900+ person office at 11 AM on a Tuesday. Edit. We have this company internal Facebook/forum type website. I thought I was commenting on something only my friend could see as a joke. Turns out the forum was set up to send out email updates when someone gave positive feedback. So when I give him the feedback of you up, it blasted the whole building. Well, were they? I got a few dozen replies of varying degrees of appropriateness. Anytime my girlfriend is feeling down I remind her about it and it drastically improves her mood. When I was in middle school I was at a birthday party for a friend of mine who lived a couple blocks down the street from me. In the middle of the party I suddenly got the biggest urge to sh-tea. My crush was at the party and the only bathroom was right next to the living room where everyone was, so I knew I couldn't blow up the bathroom there. I told my friend I had to run home because my mom needed help with something. I tried calling her or my dad to come pick me up but neither answered, so I had to walk. I wanted to run but was afraid if I did it would let loose, so I determinedly sped walk home. I got about 3 houses away from my house and it became too much and I shat my pants. When I got home, no one was there and I realized I didn't have my keys, so I was locked out. I waddled around to my sister's window as it was always unlocked, pried it open, and very carefully maneuvered my sh-tea covered self into the room. Unfortunately her bed was under the window, and on my way down, I smeared sh-tea all over one of her pillows. I went into the bathroom, cleaned up, changed my pants, threw out the sh-tea covered pillow, then headed back to the party. No one questioned me, and no one ever found out what happened. Edit. Welsh tea. I posted this then proceeded to take a nap, then woke up to a full inbox. I was having a bad day, so thanks Reddit for cheering me up. Why didn't you sh-tea in a bush? Probably because no toilet paper. My record for beating off in one night was 15 times. I was at my grandmother's house, she went to bed, and it was the first time I had solitary access to the internet. Oh, to be 14ish again. The best part? I didn't know about deleting browsing history because I didn't have the internet at home. Not sure I've ever wanted to die as badly as when she taught me how to delete it in front of my mom. When I was young, I didn't know the difference between getting laid and getting laid off. Had no idea that these things are completely different. I would use them almost interchangeably. So, when my dad lost his job one year, the next day at school I went around explaining to all my classmates, yeah, things aren't going well at my house. My dad got laid yesterday. My friend, non-native English speaker, thought getting laid meant to get drunk. I'll let her know after I heard her say it to a bunch of people at a bar that she wanted to get laid tonight. My first year at college, an international student told the dean she was as randy as a wild goat, thinking it just meant excited, having heard her friends say the phrase. I was standing in line at Walmart and the guy's dentures in front of me fell out onto the ground. I didn't realize what he dropped, so I bent down to get them and saw it was a full set of teeth. I then decided not to touch them since he has to put them in his mouth. After standing back up, I felt like that was rude and he might think I didn't touch them because they are gross. I changed my mind and bent back down to grab them, but as my hand was like 3 inches away I thought to myself that he definitely doesn't want me to touch them, so I stood back up. The entire time this guy was standing there watching me bend down and stand up several times. The final time I stood up he locked eyes, he gave me a weird look, then snatched them aggressively and walked away. I still have no idea if I should have grabbed them or not. It was just embarrassing having him watch me be indecisive about his teeth. Good call on not picking them up. Bad call on bending over and almost picking them up several times. It's the decision problem. You are better off sticking to one rather than hesitating. Hey, what is up guys, Daniel here. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. More content is coming. Stay tuned.